Due Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, rise and shine. You're on with It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. How is everyone doing this morning? Y'all doing good? Yes, you're looking extra, girl, Shontyce. Pastor Steph needed a little extra rest, so God is allowing her to take that. And while God is allowing her to take that, He is entrusting me. He has put it on her heart to entrust me with assisting you with getting not only your morning, but your week started off right. How was your weekend? How was you doing in that snow? Were y'all anticipating the snow? Because I had absolutely no idea that it was going to snow the other night. No idea. But thanking God that we all have shelter, that we have heat. Praying y'all got those winter boots. I've been looking for winter boots for the past, this will be year 3. And I don't know, I haven't been finding any I thought was a real good quality and that I liked. They don't have to be expensive, but they can't be cheap. But, something that's going to properly get me through. You know what I mean? So hopefully you were able to do that. Were you here on this Due Time with Pastor Steph last week? Last week was packed. Shaking the Monday morning blues. Let's talk about a Tuesday church folk day. Wow Wednesday, Therapeutic Thursday, and unfortunately we were not on for Freestyle Friday because Pastor needed that little extra rest. So we did not have the men on with us to take us into that thought-provoking weekend. However, because God has ensured that we have been on here for you. Whenever we are not on, y'all come right back. That's why it's so important that you hit that subscribe button below. So important because it gives you the notifications of when we're on and it reminds you to tune in even when we're not on. Yes, so when we are not on, come right back here, a Closer Walk Media Network, Closer Walk Media Christian Network channel, and make sure that you go to any of our previous episodes so that you can either revisit something that you feel like you need to hear all over again because God gives us these are like our video topical Bibles here. Like we can refer back to each episode. Each episode is power packed. He ensures that we are on point for y'all. So when you need to go revisit Pastor Steph's closings, there's been a few times I've had to go and listen to that alone. Like not even the whole episode, but the Holy Spirit has led me to go and listen to her closing. Impactful, filled with His word, filled with His written word, filled with His living word. So whenever we're not on, just come back here and go back. You'll see each day, you'll see the content for each day, the conversation for each day. The Due Time crew is always on point. God has ensured that He has trained us to be quick on our feet. So whatever He throws at us, whether planned or spontaneous, we're able to converse about it. Okay, so if you missed last week, don't fret, just go back. But so thankful that God has spared our lives to see yet another Monday. Are y'all ready for the week? Because I'm ready for the week. I'm ready. I know it's cold and I'm not one privy to the winter time, but thanking God that I'm on this side of the grade to experience yet another cold day and not on the other side. All right. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stop what you're doing. Make sure you tune in. Unless you're getting ready for work, do not be late on our account because we cannot send you a late pass. As if the doctor's office or anything, but make sure you grab your healthy breakfast. Make sure you grab your coffee or tea. Remember Pastor Steph's health tips. Do not drink coffee or tea on an empty stomach. Really try not to. It really messes with the system. So see, going back is always important because you also get those health tips that you probably didn't have time to jot down or you forgot you took those notes. But whatever you're doing, just stop right now. Make sure you text a friend, to tell a friend, to call a friend, to FaceTime a friend. Let them know that it's Due Time with Pastor Steph Chris on with your girl Shontyce this morning. We're going to make sure that we go into this Power Pack PSA. But whatever you do, do not go far because we will be right back. I'm going to
Body. This is your reminder to watch your words. Your words are very powerful. Your words have the power to uplift somebody or to tear them down. Your words have the power to uplift yourself or to tear yourself down. Okay? Instead of saying, I can't do that, I will never be able to do that, I will never make it, go back to what the Bible says. What does the Bible say? Shall we read? Let's read some scripture, y'all. Okay, Philippians 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's what the Bible says. And so the enemy knows how powerful words are. And so if he can get you to curse your own life, he's got you. But luckily, we can always overcome with God on our side. Can I get an amen?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back. You are watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph with your girl Shontyce this morning. How are you? How are you? Were you paying attention to that PSA? We're talking about shaking the Monday morning blues this morning. So what are we doing to ensure that we're doing our part in having a power pack week? And one of the things that we can do is speak words of affirmation, godly words of affirmation. So as it was stated, as we were reminded in today's PSA, this morning's PSA, our words carry so much power. You can either kill your week or inspire your week. All of that is contingent on the words that you speak. You're not wrong, bars. I saw y'all Holy Spirit we having bars. Listen. Paying attention, regardless of how your weekend went, good, bad, rocky, chaotic, whether it was in decency and in order or not, God has allowed you to see yet another Monday. So, prepping for work, going to work, whether you go down or not, this is why God put it on Pastor Steph's regimen to have this show first thing in the morning. So whether you're at home, whether you called out, whether you're traveling, God got you. Okay, God got you. Let's make sure that we do our due diligence in saying good morning to our faithful due time viewers. Good morning, Teddy. How are you? How are you? Thank you so much for being on and starting your new week with us. Oh, we got Pastor Steph in the room. Good morning, Pastor Steph. Good morning. Praying that you're feeling great and that you're feeling rested. Pastor Steph says, nice PSA, very uplifting. Yes, thank you, thank you. You know, we say these things all the time, but how many times do we actually apply these things? You know, it's like, oh, I have to speak better, I have to speak better. Actually speak better and see how your day goes, okay? Oh, we got a check-in from our girl, Vivian. Good morning, Vivian. Good morning. Thank you so much for being on. Praying that you get to work and you stay warm because it is cold out there. Something about getting up out your bed in the morning and you nice and toasty and that morning cold just smacks you in the face. I don't know. Good morning, Lady Tamika. Good morning. Praying that your voice is getting better. Yes, it's a great day to be alive. Yes, again, thanking God that we are on this side of the grave. Amen. Making sure we say good morning to our girl Anika, who makes sure that we are held down and running thoroughly and properly every single morning. Good morning, Anika. Praying your weekend went great. We have a check-in from Store Boss. Good morning. Good morning. What a day to be alive. Absolutely. Thanking God for choosing us. You know, God intentionally calls each of our names. He doesn't wake us up by accident like, oh, wait, I didn't mean to wake up. No, it's on purpose. So making sure that even if we're not clear on exactly what we need to be doing this morning, you know we're supposed to be doing something in the Lord. Amen. Because we're here. Good morning, Miss Grace. Good morning. Thank you so much for being on with us this morning. Praying you're feeling great and relaxed and peaceful on this cold winter Monday morning. Nika says, yes, stay warm, everyone. Yes, making sure. And I got to get Anika to give me some mittens. She told me about some mittens, y'all, that she has for herself. Nikki, I'm picking up a pair. We're never too old. Listen, you're never too old to be warm. Whether it's mittens, curtains, gloves, whatever, put it on. I remember back in the day, I didn't need a hat on. It'll be 40 below zero. Now, actually, take the garbage out without a hat. Not happening. Okay, so we are starting off our week, our Monday morning, with some trivia. You know, Pastor Steph. I'm about to call her Dr. Steph. Oh, Pastor Steph. Keep that in mind if the Lord says you're a doctor of some kind, because that almost really just slip out. Dr. Steph said, Pastor Steph always gives us thought-provoking health tips, whether it's mental health, physical health, emotional health, spiritual health tips that we need to make sure we are following and applying, not only listening to, not only taking the notes and not referring back to them every single morning. And when I woke up this morning, I was automatically thinking physical health tips, and then my mind went somewhere else. So what are we talking about this morning? What kind of tips are we talking about this morning? We are talking about minding your business tips. And listen, I don't know about y'all, but one of the things I've noticed about myself is the weather dictates my mood a lot of the times. And I don't always realize it. We have a check-in from Serge. Good morning, Serge. Good morning. But it's too cold to be minding other people's business. It is just way... We about to get into, because you know God got to break everything down, which I love. But we got to make sure we get into this, because there is an art to minding your business, and there's some beneficial health tips that go on. So when you mind your business, you are focusing on your own life, your own responsibilities, your own affairs, rather than interfering with others, interfering with other people's responsibilities, other people's lives, other people's affairs, and you're attending to your own needs and actions. And I don't know about any one of y'all, but taking care of your own life is a whole job. Okay? You see how relaxed this individual looks here? She's sipping her tea, she got her feet up. This is the vibe that we need to be on, and this is the vibe that you're able to be on when you are minding your own business. Okay, so let's get into a few of these tips here, because we got to make sure that we're staying on point. Setting clear boundaries. Learn to say no. Make yourself less available and use do not disturb features to protect your time and energy. Now, that's not a luxury that I can afford to take on, the do not disturb, because I actually have a responsibility, and most of us who are people of God, a big part of our responsibility is to be a part of other people's affairs to an extent. Lady Tamika says, drink water and mind your business. Yes, see, that's a great point, Lady Tamika, because when you mind your business, when you're paying attention to your own life, your own affairs, what else did it say? your own responsibilities. Drinking water is a responsibility. Drinking water is essential to your physical health, and it affects other aspects of your health as well. But immediately you automatically think of your physical health. That is the most important and most healthy beverage you can ingest, water. When you paying attention to what other people are doing, you ain't got time to drink no water. I ain't never seen a healthy person who gossips. Never. If it sounds like I'm raising my voice, please excuse me because the music is, it got a mind of its own this morning. So I'm not yelling at y'all. I'm just trying to make sure I'm audible enough so that you can hear me. Because this is serious this morning, okay? This is serious. But yes, making sure that you're attending to your own affairs, your own lives, your own responsibilities. Your physical health becomes a priority because you just think, I just never seen someone who gossips all the time who's in a picture of health. I've never seen it. That's just me though. Okay? So setting clear boundaries. And you know what? Reading this makes me think about how Pastor Steph just said, I think it was this past week, when she spoke on the fact that she had to tell someone, listen, stop calling me, telling me about such and so. I've intentionally made sure that I set boundaries with people and things. I don't listen to this person. I don't engage in those type of conversations. You are not going to now go around the person and call me with their business. No. Pastor Steph was setting clear boundaries. So learning to say no and learning to make yourself less available, which is something that I've been saying to people, like, don't be flabbergasted when I'm not as available to you. Okay? So making sure you're setting clear boundaries is one of the ways you can mind your business. Practice self-awareness. Focus on your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own actions. Ask if your internal thoughts are true and useful, not just noise. Listen, y'all. We got to make sure that we are aware of our own thoughts about, listen, if you're not minding your business, if you're not paying attention to your life, your responsibilities, what's the other word? Your own affairs. How are you? So let's just say you being in everybody else's life is a job for you, right? And we witnessed how that was someone's job, and now other people's job is being all up in her life, and she don't like that too much. Okay? How are you on point with your own thoughts and your own feelings and your own actions? You're not. Good morning, Terrence. We talking about minding your business, making sure that's how we have a great thought-provoking week. You're not. There's no way you can be. So making sure you're practicing self-awareness. You cannot be on point with your own mental health, your own emotional health, your own spiritual health. If you're all up in someone else's, you're not helping them be healthy. You can't help someone be healthy and you're not trying to help yourself be healthy. Not happening. That's another tip they're giving us. Stop giving unsolicited advice. Yeah. As they say in the streets, yes. If no one asks you, shut up. That's how you can shake the Monday morning blues as well. Listen, again, a lot of the responsibilities we have as disciples, as when God sends us out to evangelize, when God sends us out to minister, to serve others through ministry, we do have to be on point with conversations that's going on around us. Don't get me wrong, we absolutely do. However, stop inserting yourself. And this is honestly something that I had to learn to stop doing, because in certain instances, when I would hear certain things, and then I would hear the response to said things, sometimes it would be like, and I know that is so, not only is it wrong, but if that person walks away with that advice, Lord, like you got to call in the name of the Lord. Because some of the advice that I hear people giving other people, I'm like, but sometimes God be like, you just gotta let that go. Let them be free. Let them, because how do you know God is not allowing them to get that unsolicited advice, because he's been properly advising them for so long, but they don't want to hear it. So now, you know what? Go ahead and do what you do. Lady Tamika says, oh, that burns me, providing unsolicited advice. Oh, yes. And a lot of times, people be inserting their advice, they don't know what they be talking about. You ever heard that? It's like, what? Like, what does it have to do with the person's life? I don't understand. People's advice, again, but when you're not paying attention to your own affairs, not only that, this has become the era of people having all this insight for other people, but they are such a when it comes to them. And people, if you're a millennial, you know what that means. And that means a very challenged, kind of slow person. Like, how are you able to put other people on? How? Like, God gives you the ability to talk to yourself with him. How do you bypass that? Like, no, God, I don't need it. But let me tell you about them. No. Give yourself the unsolicited advice. Like, you know what I say to people a lot of the times? They say things to me that is crazy. Like, you know what? Go write that down, read it back to yourself. If it still makes sense, to come back and say it to me. We got to make sure that we're paying attention to the fact that we need to be giving godly advice, God's advice. If God has not told you to speak, grab those words, put it back. Okay? Accept others is another tip on minding your business. Recognize that people are different and you can't change them. Accept their identities and choices without trying to mold them. Now, Pastor Steph, you can let me know, as I'm reading this, and I heard someone trying to give someone advice yesterday, and I had to tell them, like, that's not a cookie cutter piece of advice, though. That's what I feel when I read this. Recognize that people are different and you can't change them. Now, you can't change anyone. You cannot change anyone. The Word of God says that. One person plants the seed, the other person waters, and only God gives the increase. Meaning, only God can change that person, change that situation, change those circumstances. Accept their identities and choices without trying to mold them. Now, accept, is that relative? Because see, when someone says accept me for who I am, when people say these things now, accept me for me, they want you to be jumping through the roof about who they are and not tell them about themselves. That's what acceptance means in the streets now. Like, shut up, this is me, this is who I've been, this is who I'm gonna be, love me for me. What? Yeah, I'm supposed to love you in the Lord. At the same time, and God has chosen me to assist in watering, and that's part of the watering, the molding. If I have the pleasure of being the one to water the seed, that's part of molding. Okay, ma'am. So that's not a cookie cutter tip. That part right there. And see, this is why you have to make sure you have discernment, because everything you read, you got to make sure you ask God to navigate you through the words. Okay? Disengage from gossip. Didn't we just speak about this? Avoid getting involved in workplace drama or social gossip. Change the subject or walk away. Don't get engaged. Pastor Steph said, and the Holy Spirit pricked me with this as well. When people talk, you be like, or you be like, right. Like, no, right, no, Because, like, with people, they take that as you agree, and they take that as, to them, you might as well have just said, like, a whole paragraph. Because when they go back, oh, yeah, because Shontyce said, because she agreed with me. What? There's been a lot of what's going on in my life. Okay, look. Don't say don't say right, don't say, just walk off that way. When someone calls themselves reiterating the conversation, they cannot say it was me and so-and-so and so-and-so and you and so-and-so and then you said, no. I ain't saying nothing because I wasn't there. Okay? Focus on your own path. is another tip that's given for minding your business. Channel your energy into your own goals, your own dreams, your own family, your own personal growth, like taking a class or exercising. Focus on what you need. Now, again, I know when the Lord asks us to engage with Him and getting involved in other people's lives, that's still to a certain extent. But I really had to call Pastor Steph yesterday about a life. Like, this helping is helping me. Jesus, it's helping me in the opposite direction. You wanted to help me here. It's helping me go down mentally, in a sense. But I had to digress, and I had to remember that there's limits to this thing, though. There's limits to this thing, though. Okay? So when you focus on your own path, and you know what, too? When you focus on your own path, it enables you to be able to give the godly advice and not the unsolicited advice. It gives you the discernment as to when to speak and when not to speak. Because you're focusing on what God is doing with you, and what God is doing with me may not be the same way God is dealing with you at the same time, because our end goal is the same, us making it into the kingdom and inheriting everlasting life in the kingdom. There's still a lot of similarities. The foundation is the same. So even if I may only need a little aggression, but you may need a lot of aggression, because I'm focusing on what I need, I'm going to understand God more. I'm going to be able to be in tune a little more with what God needs me to give you. So focusing on yourself and minding your business is very important. And again, like I always tell people, I don't chase people for their information. They say they want to talk. Someone told me I want to talk, and they ain't never called me last week. Listen, it is what it is. If you really want to talk, you're in the middle of your business to call me. My motto has always been, and I've always said to people, you feel comfortable enough to talk to me, you want to talk. I ain't got to chase you down about your business. It's your life. If you don't feel the need to talk and get help about your life, me chasing you down about your business, your information is not going to help you. All it's going to do is stress me out. Now, I can't help you when the time comes. Listen, there's a straight domino effect with all of it. Lady Tamika says, there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, I'm not interested, or I don't want to hear that. It will keep people from coming to you with not just that conversation, but others in the future. Absolutely. Absolutely. And our last tip is, don't be a busybody. Don't investigate or pry if someone's problem isn't yours to solve. Leave it alone and don't get involved. Again, that goes back to that unsolicited advice. And a lot of times, unsolicited information. Okay, so making sure that we're minding our business is a great way to stay mentally and emotionally and even physically, of course, spiritually healthy. Make sure you, listen, go back. If you did not jot those tips down, go back. Go back and take notes of those, okay? All right. It is time to get into our news. I didn't find a whole lot. I feel like that stuff. I didn't find a whole lot of interesting news, but I did find a couple that I thought was a little interesting. Like by the time we read these and go over these, we'll be able to have a thorough conversation. But it's been a whole lot going on with the latter end of the week leading into the weekend. So we have a 38-year-old mother from California who was attacked last Thursday afternoon in Macy's in Herald Square. Yes, in the city. Not too far from Times Square, if you're not familiar with the area. But everyone knows 34th Street in Herald Square, right? Isn't that where they have the Thanksgiving parade and all that? Yes. So the huge Macy's that's down there, she was attacked in the bathroom while she was changing her newborn child. Whole lot going on already. So we have a California woman So her name is, they didn't give her name actually. They gave the name of the attacker actually. But she was in the bathroom changing her infant daughter's diaper, and she was stabbed multiple times in the back and in the shoulder, I believe it says. So 43-year-old Kerry Ahern of Tuskegee, Massachusetts. Now, I know that there's a whole lot of cities that I don't know about, but Tuskegee, okay, so Tuskegee, Massachusetts, and it says that she walked into the bathroom with a knife and stabbed the mom again multiple times in the back, and she slashed her arm. Okay, this happened again Thursday afternoon. It wasn't quite 3 p.m. And see, that part kind of like, okay, because no one is really waiting for nighttime to start going in with the crimes. Now, I remember years ago, it was like you waiting till it was dark. No, people are just out here losing their mind. All right, so she says, well, not she says, but the authorities say that she was just released from a psychiatric facility that morning. So Thursday morning, she was released from the psych ward, the psych hospital. And then Thursday afternoon, she walks into Macy's. She buys the knife in Macy's. And goes and attacks this mother while changing her baby. So as she was attacking the mom, the baby did fall from the table, but thank God the baby was not injured in any way, which thank God, because you talk about an infant child. Y'all know sometimes these changing tables, they're not really high off the floor. Sometimes they are a little high, depending on where you are. So that was definitely a work of God that infant child falls onto those hard floors. Now, I know Macy's bathroom. Those are some hard floors in it. And the baby was not injured. Now the woman, what's her name? Ahern. She told the authorities that voices in her head told her to kill someone or she would be killed. So that explains why she left the psych ward, went to Macy's. Now, they're not stating where the psychiatric hospital was, how far it was from Macy's. But she walked up out of there and didn't say she broke out, so she was let out. You make your way to Macy's. You were conscious enough to buy this knife because voices told you to kill someone or you would be killed. And you walk into the bathroom, into the store. Well, no, this doesn't look like a store. But you walk into the bathroom and you stab this woman. So she has been charged with attempted murder, assault, child endangerment, and weapons possession. And she's being held without bail until December 17th, when she will have to go to court. So I did find a quote from someone who knows the family, and she says the trip was a holiday thing. They just had the baby not too long ago, and they were just trying to get away for the holidays. This is their first trip to New York since they had the baby. So this is their first trip from California to New York, and this is the experience that they had. And I mean, look at her. She looks, you figuring you're coming here and y'all just gonna have this quick getaway with your newborn. And unfortunately, this is what happens. I can't even imagine you being in the restroom, changing your baby, and someone comes and just starts stabbing you. And they said that luckily she was strong enough to fight the woman back. So that's probably also how the baby fell, because now your attention goes from the baby to now y'all possibly bumping into the changing table. And they didn't say she got any help from anyone in the bathroom. So she was able to take care of that herself until I guess someone was able to call the authorities. But now you got to watch your back in the bathroom. I mean, people crack jokes all the time and say that when you get locked up, don't drop soap and don't turn your back in the showers and don't do all that. Now, even when you're in a public bathroom, this wasn't even like a rest stop, somewhere, and she made her way into that bathroom. You got to be careful. Make sure you're watching your back. Speaking of watching your back, We are now speaking of a story that took place over the weekend in Brooklyn. We have teens were hanging out in front of an establishment called Burbuja Events, and that's located on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn in Cypress Hills around 1:20 in the morning, yesterday morning, actually. A lot of times people would say Saturday night, but it was only yesterday morning. And there were a bunch of gunshots that rang out. So there were some cops who did respond, and they responded to find 6 teenagers who were hit by the gunfire. Ages ranged from 15 to 17 years old. The victims included a 15-year-old girl who was shot in the chest, her hip, and her leg, a 15-year-old girl with a bullet wound to her right leg, a 15-year-old boy who was shot in his left arm, a 16-year-old boy who was shot in his right arm, another 16-year-old boy who was shot in his left foot, and a 17-year-old boy who has a gunshot wound to his right leg. Now, they're saying that this took place at a birthday party at the event, and the authorities believe that the shooting was gang-related. They're saying that all of the victims were taken to Brookdale University and Kings County Hospital. So between the 2 hospitals, they were taken there. They did not say why they split the 2 hospitals, the victims between the 2 hospitals, but I guess they figured if it's gang-related, maybe they'll try to finish the job. They didn't state. And they've all been listed in stable condition and are expected to survive. Thank you, Jesus. Now, they did have a statement made by the event space, and I want to make sure that I read that thoroughly. It says Burbuja, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Burbuja Events hosted a Sweet 16 celebration that concluded at approximately 1 a.m. Approximately 20 minutes after the event ended, a tragic incident occurred outside of our event space at the corner of Ashford Street, facing Atlantic Avenue. Burbuja Events wishes to clarify that no shots were fired inside the venue, and the incident took place entirely outside our premises. So they wanted to definitely make sure that they made it known that none of this took place inside of the venue. So according to the venue manager or whomever is speaking on the venue's behalf, everything was going smoothly inside. But as soon as they stepped outside shortly after, that's when all of the chaos took place. The venue says that they are fully cooperating with the cops and making sure that they're staying in consistent communication with what they say they're near the 75th precinct in Brooklyn to make sure, I guess, whatever answers need to be answered, whatever they can do. Now, authorities were able to obtain some surveillance, probably from the venue, their camera system, and they were able to get video of the possible shooters. They say no arrests have been made yet. One quick second, I want to see. Now they're saying that, of course, these were teens, most likely because it's gang related. These were teens that were shot. But they were able to find the photo. Now they're saying that they were dressed in all black and wearing surgical masks. Now, as they call them in the streets, a shiesty. You couldn't even get the shiesty to go over your face. You went and got the 99-cent surgical mask that could have easily been pulled. But again, saying according to reports, shootings have fallen in the 75th precinct by 33.3% year to date through the beginning of September, with 34 incidents compared to 51 incidents at the same time this year. We got to do better, y'all. There's no thought put into anything. Now, I'm not saying if you're going to be a criminal, be a smart criminal. Surgical mask. I don't know. For some reason, that just hit me. Like, what? So you just do on whatever. And see, when you get careless like that, they don't understand how careless you are in other parts of the crime that you're committing. You're careless in other parts. Terrence says, I'm happy I don't party. That's one of the things I was thinking about too, Terrence. I was also thinking too, when the party is over, it's over. When the party is over, it's over. Pastor Steph says it's a sweet 16. They should be able to celebrate. I agree absolutely. And that's one of the things that came across my mind. We can't even celebrate because the first thing before I read it was a sweet 16. I was like, well, what kind of party was this? Well, if you're having it at a venue like that, more than likely it is like a birthday party, a baby shower, something like that. Because none of the hood parties go on at event space. The hood parties go on in the basement, in the house, in the front or backyard. No one's paying for a venue for just a regular spontaneous hood party. That's not happening. But again, unfortunately, when the party is done, the party is done. You're gonna have to vacate the premises. You're gonna have to leave because, and another reason why too is you don't realize who you may be inviting to your party. So it's my sweet 16, which means that this was a female teenager's birthday party. And I may not be gang related, but my friend might be, or the person my friend invited might be. So now because they coming for him or her or them, now they coming at my party. Now they didn't state that if one of the victims was the birthday girl or not, because if I can remember what I read correctly, there was only one girl or two out of the six. It was predominantly the males who were the victim. But come on, y'all. Unfortunately, we can't just have a good time. You can't just have a good time anymore. You can't just go into the bathroom and change your baby's pamper anymore peacefully. You can't have a sweet 16 anymore peacefully. It's sad. And if she wasn't one of the victims, I'm praying that that's not weighing her down, like she did something wrong, like, oh, it happened. Pastor Steph is saying, oh, at your party, right? It's, and talk about just not being able to do anything anymore. So this past Friday morning, there was an incident that took place in a subway station elevator. A man is wanted in an attack for punching a 73-year-old woman multiple times in the face in the 14th Street station elevator. Punched her several times. Now they're saying, this, when I first pulled up this photo, I thought this was the victim. This is the perpetrator. Suspects was last seen wearing a black hat, glasses, a gray hooded sweatshirt, a dark gray jacket, and gray pants, carrying a black backpack, black bag, and a cane. How are you punching someone multiple times in their face and you need the cane? What is happening? What is happening? Again, this took time during the afternoon. And I've never liked riding the elevators. First of all, I don't like the subway. Call me bougie, call me stuck up, call me what. If I gotta take 4 buses along on the railroad, a camel, a scooter, hop off of that, get on the Underground Railroad, do that. I'm not getting on no subway, let alone the elevator of a subway. It just always looked extremely suspect to me. Multiple reasons suspect. I don't know. So now this old woman who needs to take the elevator, because there were a couple of times I had to take the elevator to assist someone. And I saw a few people who didn't look like they needed to be on the elevator. Now, maybe they did, but just appearance-wise, but they didn't look disabled. But if you don't need to, you don't need to. A 73-year-old woman, more than likely, you need to be on an elevator because even making your way to an escalator is challenging. You get on the elevator and someone who's just as disabled as you physically starts punching you in the face multiple times and then runs off into the sunset. What is happening? Seven says, I'm happy I don't take MTA in 20 plus years. Yeah. You're blessed. That whether you're walking, you're driving, you're able to take the bus, able to take Amtrak or whatever, you don't need to take the subway. It's just way too much going on. Oh, let's talk to our due time crew. We have Pastor Jeff on first. Let's pull him up. Good morning, Pastor Jeff.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Good. Good. Were you able to hear any of our minding your business tips?
Oh, no, I didn't.
No, you didn't? Okay, let me read one so really quickly. They're saying it's like the best way to stay on top of your health. Setting clear boundaries, learning to say no, making yourself less available, and using the do not disturb feature on your phone. What do you think about that in regards to minding your business?
Well, I mean, is it opposed to health, to having good health? You said?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, yeah, because my sleep get broken by, if I don't put my phone on do not disturb.
Exactly.
People disturb me all night. Or they don't care what time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if they call it because they trying to now get you involved in someone else's business, calling you all times in the night. Why are you calling me at 1, 2 a.m.? Whose business are you trying to get me engaged in? Absolutely, Pastor Jeff. Absolutely. So we're talking about this 38-year-old woman who went into a Macy's bathroom to change her baby's diaper and had to fight off a woman who just left the psychiatric hospital that morning and came and stabbed her multiple times in the back and slashed her arm. And thank God the baby wasn't physically hurt. But she just came from California for the holidays just to, enjoy and go back home, however long they plan to stay here in New York. And this was her experience coming to New York for the first time.
You said she came from California?
From California. She's from California.
Okay.
First trip to New York just to have a quick getaway. They just had the baby. Her and her husband just had the baby. And this is her experience as a new mom and first time in New York.
Well, first thing I want to say to her, welcome to New York. You know what I'm saying? This is a wild place. We got a lot of mentally disturbed people here all over the place. And it just keeps happening. Something's got to be done. I don't know. We need to make a machine that can check your brain when you walk into the store. You check it for guns, but we need to check for brains. Going into the subway, going into the stores, all of that.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. It is crazy out there. You can't even change your baby in the the bathroom.
Right, but you're saying check for weapons. She bought the knife in Macy's.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We need a machine that can check brains and check, or a demon machine. Check, see if you got a demon in you.
And listen, they making the robots that can have kids. They should be able to make something that's detecting some type of demonic intention or something.
That's what I'm saying. A look in your eyes or something. You can't come in this store.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Pastor Jeff. We're gonna come back with the other stories as well, but let's pull up Pastor KL and see what he has to say. Good morning, Pastor KL.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
How are you?
All right.
21 degrees in Alabama. How you think I'm doing?
21 degrees there.
Disappointed that you left New York for heat.
I'm in Alabama. It should not be 21. Who made God upset? That's all I want to know. Who made God upset?
I don't know who left the door open, Pastor KL. I don't know. We're talking about minding your business is a great way to kickstart great health each day as we're at the beginning of a new work week. And they're saying, stop giving unsolicited advice. Unless asked directly, keep your opinions to yourself. Offer support by validating feelings instead. And that's a great way to mind your business, which is a great way for you to stay healthy.
Yeah, be antisocial. That's great. That's great. Don't talk to nobody. Don't even say hello. You know what I mean? Don't even say hello. Unless they say hello to you. And if they say hello to you, just nod your head. Because once you say hello, you open the airways for conversation. Just nod and keep going. No, don't talk.
Well, I don't know how that's supposed to work for your spiritual health. You're supposed to be out here discipling.
You just said, unless they ask you something. You said hello. I nod. I welcome your hello. Now, if you stop and say, can I ask you a question? I say, oh, Jesus. Is this the one you setting me, Lord? I got to ask God first before I say you could ask me a question. You might not be the one from God. You might not be my sheep. You might be lost. Go find your shepherd.
Okay, we'll talk about not saying anything to anyone. This mom said nothing to anyone. She was just trying to mind her business, changing her baby, and got attacked from this woman who said that she heard voices saying she had to kill someone or she would be killed. So she purchased the knife in Macy's, walked in the bathroom, and I don't know, maybe this was the first woman she saw, and started stabbing her. But thank God this mom was able to fight her off, and the woman was able to be obtained by authorities, and now she's in jail without bail and waiting for her court hearing on the 17th.
Well, I think that not only should she be in jail, but the victim should be able to sue them and the hospital. Who let her out saying she was okay? I mean, who did that? The very first day you let her out for freedom, she killing folks? Clearly, she didn't pass a test. She didn't pass a sight test.
That's what I was thinking.
If she did, you did not know how to administrate it. You should go to jail too and lose your job. Because clearly, she was still cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So all of y'all need to go to jail. And that lady, that baby gonna be in the best colleges. She gonna be in the best proms. She gonna be the queen of the Nile. She gonna have lots of money. Lots of money. Welcome to New York.
Oh, welcome to New York. Thank you, Pastor Kale. Let's pull up Brother Ainsley. Good morning, Brother Ainsley.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, brothers.
How are you?
Man?
All right. Yo, Jeff, you doing the exercise for me too, man. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's 20 degrees in Atlanta right now, too. Let me tell you that, man. So,
Oh, Jesus. We all dying.
yeah, bro.
Oh, goodness. Really quick before we get into that, I wanted to read a few of the comments, especially in regards to this story here. Pastor Steph says, why are you stabbing someone changing her baby's diapers? Terrence says, wow, that's crazy. Lady Tamika says, thank God this was not a story where mom and baby didn't survive. I pray for mom's trauma about New York. Absolutely. And Terrence says, of course, you are right, Pastor Case, through them all. Through them all. So, Brother Ainsley, really quick, we were talking about getting and staying healthy for a new day, a brand new week with minding your business. One of the tips that were given was accept others, recognize that people are different and you can't change them, accept their identities and choices without trying to mold them.
Yeah, that's simple. That's simple. Like, what's the saying? I got 6 months out the year to mind my own business and the other 6 months to stay out of yours. Whatever you got going on, why am I going to put my energy and effort into it? So whatever your issue is, hey, that's better energy reserved for me to do something else.
Absolutely. Thank you. I never heard that one either, Pastor Kale. Never heard that one either. So we have this mom.
He's older than us.
They didn't come for me this morning. They didn't come for me. They didn't come for me this morning. So, Brother Ainsley, we have this mom who just had her first New York experience. Thank God that she survived. Her baby was not harmed outside of falling off of the changing table, but baby girl was okay. And thank God she was able to fight the assailant off. But unfortunately, this was her experience. And now instead of going back home peacefully, they now have to stay here and await the court case. And God forbid if anything gets prolonged. But now this is her experience here. Brand new mom, brand new city. And this is what she goes through.
Right. And she's from California somewhere, right? And
yes, California.
In New York?
Yes.
You know, you got crazy, and then you got New York crazy. We got a certain mentality about it. Certain things, you know, we just on guard for certain things. Like, you know, now I sympathize with her. Hopefully she'll be okay. The baby be fine. And yes, you know, they probably sued the hospital and Macy's and stuff like that. But, you know, that mental health is not an exact science. So, you know, that New York crazy can kind of know, like, I'm going to be tested. So let me be sane for a little while so I can get out. Then I can act my natural crazy self once I get out the doors. The crazy came up. Now, she went into Macy's, bought a knife, and then opened the knife in the store. Right there, so everybody would have been like, yo, most New York would be like, that ain't right. You open up the package, a knife in the store. Some people are like, oh, I ain't gonna mind my business. No, she ain't come for me. I'm all right. And you got this white woman in the restroom. It's just all, you know, oblivious to her surroundings, perhaps, and you know, just changing a diaper and just aggravated that demonic spirit in this crazy person and want to stab her. You know, so that New York crazy just flared up, you know. Cause anybody walk into a restaurant with a knife, that's reason right there to be like, yo, something's up, be on guard, you know, prepared to defend yourself, you know. So it's crazy.
Why I gotta be New York crazy?
That's how we are, bro. Come on. You know.
Y'all keep talking about welcome to New York. That's saying the same thing.
Stuff happens.
That's saying the same thing.
Known for, you know.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have a comment from Lady Tamika that so the perpetrator's mental health disturbs the victim's mental health. Make this make sense. Absolutely. And that's what ends up happening.
True that. True.
You know, you got issues. And again, in my opinion, this mental health term is relative. Like you got issues and now you cause someone else to have an even bigger, you know, an even bigger issue because again, like it was stated, you're from here. So not only may I now have an issue with watching my back, but now going to new places, I may also have an issue with because I may not be someone that says, well, this could happen anywhere. I may be someone that says, well, when I was home in California, this don't happen. So now if I travel outside of California, this is what I got to look forward to because I don't really know the vibes in these other cities. You know, we don't understand the trauma that a lot of times we cause with other people. We gotta be careful. Thank you.
Look, New Yorkers, we watch our back no matter where we go, right? Come on now.
No, I mean, listen, I agree. But again, there's some people who in their mind, there's some type of rationalizing and separating the two. And that's what I'm saying again, but there's different levels to this for her, whether she makes that type of, you know, it's like I traveled, I'm a brand new mother. We don't know if she's going through postpartum or anything. Like there's already things that's going on. You're a brand new mom, you're traveling, you're in the bathroom by yourself. It's not like you and your husband was there, but you just happen to be the one that got attacked first and you were by yourself. So now all kind of things, you know, we don't know what's going through her mind. So unfortunately, we can't dictate that. She can't dictate that.
She should have been on alert, you know, because there's a lot of craziness going on in Cali.
I mean, yeah, as it was said, it goes on everywhere. But you know, like I was saying, it's, New York, and you're probably figuring too, well, I'm going to New York, I'm going to the busy part of New York, I'm going to the popular part of New York, the tourist part of New York. I'm not going to the Bronx. I'm not going, to Brooklyn.
Watch your mouth about the Bronx.
Listen, I'm from New York. I can say these things, okay? I'm from here. I can say these things. But you're probably figuring, and it's the same thing with us. When we travel, it's like, okay, if I'm going to Jamaica, okay, I'm going to the resorts. I ain't going to Kingston. It's like these are the ways a lot of times people ration things in their minds. So we don't know. But let's bring Brother Al on to see what his thoughts are on this here. Good morning, brother. But I say brother. Oh, yeah, Brother Al. Yeah, I'm confused there.
Top of the morning. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on now?
Stop stumbling. It seemed like you couldn't get the brother out your mouth, all right? Fix it.
We're talking about minding your business. Mind your business about what I was saying.
I'm minding your business.
So they're saying focus on disengage from gossip. Avoid getting involved in workplace drama or social gossip. Change the subject or walk away. That's one of the best ways you can mind your business, which is one of the best ways you can protect your health.
I agree with to a certain degree. Unfortunately, I work with children, so I have to be in their business to know what's going on in the school. What I'm saying? I don't want no kids coming up in here trying to blow things up and, kids setting up to jump a teacher or jump other kids. So unfortunately, I got to be in the business. I got to know what's going on.
Okay. Now we're talking about this mom who has just experienced this traumatic ordeal. And now they have to stay here and make sure this is all situated before going back home. And of course, it's taking place in such a popular area. Macy's, Herald Square, minutes away from Times Square. Quick getaway, brand new mom.
Man, that's just horrible. But it shows when you don't grow up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? You watch your back at all times. I don't care where you at. I don't care where you at, what you doing. Hey, listen, let me tell you, my birthday just passed and Tamika surprised me and took me to Puerto Rico. And I had eyes in the back of my head. I'm having a nice time, but I'm watching my surroundings. You have to watch yourself at all times because people are crazy. People are crazy and people put themselves as victims, not her, but people on their cell phones not paying attention. You got predators out here. They are everywhere. Watch your surroundings. I'm sorry she had to go through that, but I guess she was excited too. Oh, I'm going to New York. I'm gonna have a good time. She went in there to change her baby, and I understand. Her focus was, let me change my baby, And as soon as she heard the door, she should have went like this. She should have looked around and saw what was happening.
There's no door. Have you been to the bathroom in Macy's?
I'm talking about when she first came in the bathroom.
No, that she was, I don't think from the picture that's shown, it's not looking like that's in the stall.
No, I'm not talking about the stall. I'm talking about the very first door you open to go into the bathroom.
There's no bathroom door. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
They have to. That's privacy.
No.
Listen. Walk in.
No, listen. When you walk into Macy's bathroom in Herald Square, you just walk into the bathroom. There's stalls, there's bathrooms, there's doors to the bathroom stalls, but to walk in that restroom, there are no doors. You just walk in. That's what I'm saying. From the looks of this picture, it looks like the changing table. That's not in a stall because look at the dryer. Right. I don't think that's in a stall.
Right. No, you're right. I thought there was at least a door you open and go into.
Oh, no.
It's almost like the airport. There's no doors at the airport.
Right.
So that's crazy. But you gotta watch your surroundings. I'm glad that they're okay because that could have ended bad, And the psych ward, they probably was full. They probably were full just like they do some of the prisons. Oh, we full. Oh, you got a little minor crime, you can go home. So they probably was full and say, okay, she crazy, but she a little bit crazy. And you going to Macy's buy a knife. That's crazy.
It's crazy, but she ain't crazy.
Right. So she go in the store and buy a knife. I mean, purchasing everything. How much this knife? $22.35. Okay, here you go. Keep the change.
She crazy with money.
Right. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness. So unfortunately,
she crazy with the credit card.
Yeah.
With credit.
Yeah.
You know that crazy.
The debit card.
Out your mind.
Whole lot of credit.
Pastor Steph is laughing at Brother Al. They were full. But my mind went to exactly what Pastor KL said. So who dropped the ball and didn't finish the evaluation and just let her out? Because how do you do that? You heard voices that morning. You heard voices that afternoon. You heard voices that morning when they let you out.
Yeah.
You heard voices before. Yeah, you heard voices that said kill or be killed. That's what she said. She said the voices said, I have to kill or I'm going to be killed. You heard them voices the night before.
You know, I don't think I'm not sure, but I don't think she's gonna get away with suing Macy because Macy's got all type of products. People come in there and buy knives, pots, buy everything. You know, well, we'll see. That's crazy. But I'm glad that could have ended.
Definitely will see. Definitely will see.
She gonna hear voices with big spin. She gonna hear voices with big birthday get up. She gonna hear voices.
Oh gosh. Okay, well, as I was going over the news, and then we're talking about Relationship Mondays, and Pastor Steph always comes up with all of these interesting, thought-provoking ways to look at our relationship dynamic with everyone. And one of the main things that came up, really quick, I'm sorry, Terrence says, can't sue Macy's, you don't need ID for a knife. Okay, so kind of agreeing with you, Brother Al. We're speaking on relationships, and one of the main things that came up was, how is your relationship with yourself? A lot of times we're always thinking about other people, and Pastor Steph always emphasizes that stop looking across the table, stop pointing the finger across the table. And they're saying to build a healthy relationship with yourself, focus on self-compassion, setting boundaries. There goes that setting boundaries thing again, and consistent self-care, which includes listening to your needs, practicing positive self-talk, those daily affirmations like it was stated on this morning's PSA, making time for enjoyable activities, even spontaneous ones, and learning from mistakes rather than criticizing yourself. They're also saying that it's very important to cultivate mindfulness through journaling if you choose, or through quiet reflection to understand who you are internally, and treat yourself with kindness and respect that you would offer someone else. So whether you would be giving that to a friend, to a family member, to a co-worker, they're saying this is what you should be doing. So they've given us a few pointers. So we're going to quickly but thoroughly go through these. And they're saying practice self-compassion and positive self-talk. And within that point, the first tip is be your own best friend. Replace harsh inner criticism with encouragement and understanding, especially after setbacks. Pastor Jeff, what do you say to that point?
Say the question.
They're saying be your own best friend. Replace harsh inner criticism with encouragement and understanding, especially after setbacks.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up, Pastor Jeff. I think you need to get closer to your device.
Come back to me on that one. I'm processing my thoughts on that one.
Okay. Brother Ainsley, what are your thoughts on being your own best friend?
Oh, well, your own best friend?
Yes.
Well, I think, yeah, you got to love you. I mean, first you got to love God first. But, I mean, you got to love you, man. You can't put others too much emphasis on other people and let your own self go. Because I put it this way: health is wealth, and your body gives signs when stuff is not right. And if you love yourself, you gotta pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you gotta love you to, not, I don't mean to be self-centered, conceited, but you need to love you, take care of you, because I'm always reminding my wife this all the time, because she has the heart to always give and stuff like that. But my thing is, if you don't take care of you, you can't be good to anybody else. So you got to take care of you, and make you a priority in this. You want to give, and help and help and help. It's a wonderful thing. It's a good thing to help, but there has to be a line, on certain boundaries, as you mentioned, that and it's because you got to protect you. So yeah, I agree to that to a certain extent.
Okay, thank you. Brother Al, what are your thoughts? Be your own best friend.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like you said, to a certain extent, you start talking to yourself. Hey, best friend. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing well. How are you? You want to go out today? Sure, why not? But yeah, I've learned that, being in the field that I am, you have to take care of yourself. People think money. Nah, you can have all the money in the world, but you ain't got good health, you in trouble. So I would say yes to that. Yeah, definitely be your best friend. You can count on you. Can't count on that person all the time, but you can count on yourself.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, we have a comment from Terrence. There's nothing wrong with being your own best friend, because later down in life, you will learn you don't need to depend on anybody but yourself. And if anything goes wrong, you can't blame nobody but you. Okay, so that's kind of going along with what you just stated, Brother Al. Pastor Jeff.
Yes.
Be your own best friend.
I agree that you have to be a friend to yourself. That be your own best friend. I don't know. I don't know, you need at least one best friend in this life to make life a little better. But myself being my own best friend, I guess, yeah, you got to be a friend of yourself, because, somebody else might not be. That's all I got on that one.
Okay. I have a question when we come back from Pastor KO. Pastor KO, practice self-compassion and positive self-talk by being your own best friend.
I'm in total agreement. That's why the old folks used to say, "I'm happy with Jesus alone." Alone. I'm one who likes to be alone. I like me. I like to see me. When I come out the room, I say, "Good morning, me." Me say, "Good morning." I'm not that person who needs 1,000 phone calls from folks checking on me. I check on myself. Prayer allows you to stay in tune with who you are and whose you are. It's nice to have friends, but as been stated, you can't always depend on those friends. And the people that you think are friends are only friends for the moment. Go to jail, see who put money on your books. See if those friends put money on your books. They're not putting money. They're not coming to see you. They're not writing you no letters. Go do something for real, and see how many people are giving you any type of spiritual advice or anything. Oh, I'm sorry, you're homeless, but I ain't got no room. You know what I mean? So no, yeah, I like me by myself.
Thank you. We have a check-in from Adele. Good morning, Adele. Thank you for being on with us this morning. We have a comment from Pastor Steph. You got to learn to love you before anyone else. And Serge says, being your own best friend is self-love, which helps you love others. And that's kind of where my mind went. If I don't love me, If I'm not a friend to me, especially once Jesus keeps breaking down what this friend thing mean, because again, I was on the phone with Pastor Steph last night. I was like, I'm reevaluating this wanting to be a friend. This is way too much pressure. Okay. At the same time, when you think about how you treat yourself, I can't have compassion and patience and long suffering and all of this with other people, and I don't have it for myself. Jesus says, love thy neighbor as thyself. Part of the reason is we don't love ourselves, or how we loving thy neighbor. You know, so yeah, it's important to have the outside friends, but another thing too, and it's something that I'm experiencing right now, and it's really like blowing my mind, is people want you to be this diehard friend to them, and then you look at how they treat themselves. It's like, well, how you got all this expectation from me? But I'm looking at the quality of how you treat you. Why I gotta treat you better than you treat you? You put more pressure on me. This is becoming way too heavy. Because you don't love you, now I gotta love you for me and you. This becomes too much. It becomes way too much. And then it goes right back to what Pastor KL said. Because when I learned to love me, yes, someone may disappoint me, but because I'm not relying on your love for me, because I know what it is to love myself in God, you can skedaddle. Bye. Let the healing begin. You go that way, I go this way, and that's that. But a lot of times we don't love ourselves. We rely on others to love us the way God is teaching us to love ourselves. And one of the things that really came to mind is like, that's really a thing. Like loving yourself is really a thing, but it's not pushed in our culture as much. At least from what I see. We don't really push that loving yourself, being your own friend as much as we push being friends with others. And being a friend is relative in these streets now. So we don't really set ourselves up for failure. Dell says love is an action. Absolutely. Definitely is. Okay, another tip they're given is forgive yourself. Practice self-compassion and self-positive talk by acknowledging your mistakes as learning opportunities, not flaws. Brother Al.
Yeah, definitely. You know, some people, you know, we always gonna make mistakes because we're not perfect. But some people, they make the mistakes and they just beat themselves up about it, just constantly on it. Man, I should have known better. You know, we all go through that. I've been there. Dang, I should have known better this now. But you know what? Let me learn from it. I know better the next time. You know, and that's help instead of just beating yourself up about it. You know, some people curse their own self out. Yeah, you stupid. Listen, you made a mistake. Learn from it and don't do it again. Now you keep making the same mistake. Now you deserve to cuss yourself out. And like I keep making the same stupid mistake. But yeah, you gotta forgive yourself. Forgive yourself and move forward. God forgive you, so you gotta forgive yourself.
I like that latter part. Really like that latter part. I don't think we focus on that enough. Pastor Jeff, forgive yourself. Acknowledge your mistakes as learning opportunities, not flaws.
I agree with that because a lot of think about Paul in the Bible. Every time he came to his mind.
You're breaking up, Pastor Jeff. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you gotta get a little closer to the device. Yes.
Okay. I was just thinking about Paul in the Bible. You know, he always was like, man, I was the chief for sinners. I was a murderer. I was this, I was that. You got to forgive yourself in order to go forward. You really do. God forgives you, and you got to forgive yourself. And a lot of times that's what holds us back because we won't forgive ourselves. We just keep rehashing all the things that we've done. And see, I've done too much in my past for me to hold on to all of that. I'm sorry for you. I got to move forward.
Absolutely. Loving that moving forward. Brother Ainsley.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Because we all have gone through that, I had to forgive myself for something like I wasn't and something I didn't take advantage of way back in the day. And I had to take a while. Sometimes, it's not happen overnight. Oh, okay, I feel myself. Sometimes it's a process, so you can move forward better. and stuff like that. And in particular, when you blame yourself for stuff you didn't know. How can you blame yourself for something you didn't know? But regardless of which, yeah, it's an important thing to move forward. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you, Pastor KL. Forgiving yourself, is that an important factor on developing a healthy relationship with you?
It is. A lot of times we allow the enemy and or people who know where you've been to keep on throwing it back up in your face and reminding you of stuff that you've thrown under the rug. They pull it back out, and now you have to deal with that again. But we have to remember that God has already forgiven what you won't forget, and that's our biggest problem. God has already moved on and wants you to move on to the next level, wants you to move on to the next step of your life, but you can't because this thing still has you bound. This thing's still holding you on. And as long as it keeps holding you, you won't go where God has for you to go.
Like that. Like that. There's one I would really like to touch on, and I would like to touch on it from another perspective. And Lady Tamika says, if God forgives you and puts it in the sea of forgetfulness, why are we still wading in that water? And I have to admit that's something that I fight with a lot of the times. And those are the same points that the Holy Spirit gives me. Like, why are you punishing yourself? God said he forgave you for that. Don't mean you don't have to suffer some consequences. But if God forgave you that already, why are you still burdening yourself down with that? Now you're causing yourself to make more mistakes. It's like, shut up and move on. Okay, so setting boundaries and honor your needs. A tip within that is prioritize self-care. I would love for you gentlemen to give a different outlook on this self-care, because again, they're listing exercise, meditation, which we understand we need to be meditating on the word of God, quote unquote me time, hobbies, quiet meals, all of the typical self-care regimens that everyone goes towards. But what is God teaching us self-care to mean? So in order to set boundaries and honor my needs so that I can have a healthier relationship with me, I need to prioritize self-care from a godly aspect. But what does that look like? Pastor KL.
Well, for me, is protecting my peace. Peace. If your peace is not protected, if you don't have peace within yourself, there's nothing else that's going to go right. Everything is going to frustrate you. Everything is going to just mess up your mind. If you don't have peace, you're not studying. If you don't have peace, you're not having healthy conversations. If you don't have peace, you're not sleeping correctly. If you don't have peace, you're not eating correctly. If I can protect my peace, I can fall in line with everything that God has for me.
Nice. So instead of necessarily listing, let's say, exercise, it's I protect my peace so that I can do these other things. Okay, I like that. Brother Ainsley.
God, boundaries. To me, I have to say, I have to make sure I spend enough time with God in the Word and prayer. I gotta make sure I maintain that relationship so I can hear from Him. Too often, we can get very busy. Oh, I gotta do this in the morning. I gotta do this. I gotta go here. I gotta do this. Blah 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 blah. And you say, okay, I might read the Bible a little bit at night. You fall asleep reading the Bible. But because if you love somebody, you're gonna be in tune with them, and you can't be in tune with the Lord and whatnot. And He's a Savior, and you don't spend no time with Him. You don't hear from Him. You don't have. There's no communication going. You don't. You gotta be there. And to me, a boundary is like you must make that time. You got to you got to make that time, that boundary. So if it's like, listen, from this 12 to 1, that is my prayer time. That is my time with him. That's it. That's the boundary. The other 23 hours of the day, that's something else. But this time, this is my boundary. This is my time with the Lord. And that's it. So you have to must keep that boundary. Don't let outside influences, because you say, all right, it's only 5 minutes here. Instead of 12 to 1, I do 12:15 to 1. Then it's 12:30 to 1. It's very easy to go down a slippery slope. The next thing you know, you're not spending any time. So
Absolutely.
maintain that boundary, that time, whether it's prayer, is in the Word. If you got the Word Bible in the Bible, you can have the Bible. It'll read, talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, any way you do it, maintain that relationship no matter what, at all times, every day.
Love it. So self-care looks like making sure I'm doing my due diligence and spending time with God to maintain my relationship with God. And that is how I develop a better relationship with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Pastor Jeff, what does self-care look like from a godly aspect that would ensure that I have a healthier relationship with myself?
Well, I mean, it's not just prayer, even though that's most important, your time with God, but exercising and all of that, because I know when I don't get enough sleep, my prayer life gets crazy because I can't even get my thoughts together to pray with God. Certain things come on me when I don't get enough sleep, depression, all of that. So self-care is most important for every aspect of your life. I used to spend my days just kind of, running after other people's stuff and fighting their fights. And I learned, you know what? I got to take care of me because my headspace won't be right to be able to do anything if I don't self-care.
Okay, so self-care looks like making sure I'm checking in with God on how he needs me to take care of myself so that I can be beneficial to him and to others. Okay, Like it. Thank you. Brother Al, prioritize self-care from a godly aspect so that I can ensure I have a healthier relationship with myself.
My health is very important to me. When I'm feeling good, then I'm good to others, as well as like what Pastor Jeff said. Prayer life is good. When you're not feeling well, everything goes down the drain. You just want to lay down, or you're just trying to get to feel better. But I think when you got a healthy health life, everything else will fall in place. My peace will be good. My prayer life is good. I'm good to others as well as myself. So for me, the important thing is my health, making sure my health is, especially as we are getting older. So I would say my health.
Absolutely. Love it. Thank you. So ensuring that, let me think of a good way to sum up everything you said. Ensuring that, so similar to Pastor Jeff, like you said, ensuring I'm in tune with God on how to take care of me, going to doctors, which is not a popular thing, especially for men, making sure I stay on top of that so that I can be beneficial to him and to others. Okay. And it was really important that we shed light across that because, again, we come across, especially for women, everything is self-care. You see them doing the facials. You see them, doing the pedicures and manicures and body balms and, all of these things. But no one talks about taking your self-care of your inner self. How often do you spend time in the Word? How often do you spend time with God? How often do you actually focus on how God is even telling you to take care, pamper yourself physically? You know, so did he tell you to put that powder makeup on? Did he tell you to alter your body in that way? Did he tell you? But to you, that's self-care, and because that's what's popular, that's what's being promoted. So it was really important that we touched on that from a godly aspect. I think we have time for at least one more. Cultivate self-awareness and growth. I can ensure I have a better relationship with myself by being curious, understanding the why behind your thoughts and actions without judgment. Brother Ainsley.
I'm trying to understand that question. Say it again.
Okay. So I cultivate self-awareness and growth by being curious, understanding the why behind your thoughts and actions without judgment. So if I feel like I'm thinking something crazy, instead of criticizing myself, like I gotta get those thoughts out of my head, I get that thought out of my head, taking those thoughts to God and asking God to explain to you, why am I thinking that way? Why do I want those things? Why don't I want those things? And understanding the why behind it without the judgment, so that you can have a clearer understanding on how to fix the thoughts instead of just, I got to get rid of these thoughts. I got to get rid of these thoughts. If you even understand if the thoughts are good or bad. But understanding why you're having those thoughts.
Now, I got a problem with that. I don't know. I mean, I ain't thinking crazy. I don't think I am. I mean, if you're crazy, do you know you're crazy? Yeah.
You do. If you're thinking crazy, you can know there's times I have crazy thoughts. And I understand that they're crazy thoughts.
All right. Well, okay. I mean,
you want us to come back?
Well, no, we get it done. I mean, all right, I say back in the day, all right, being more mature, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I don't know if this is being crazy. Like, if somebody did me wrong, you know, I mean, in my mind, I'd be like, yo, literally, I want to take this person out. I'm like, Lord, you know, I gotta say, thank God I'm saved, because it helped me. I'm not in jail right now, but because I wouldn't want to just take this person out. I would say, thank God, you give me the strength over. You know, I'm not moving on that and whatnot, because I would did a whole lot of damage. So I gotta thank God that, okay, that's as far as it goes. It's just a thought. I'll move on, and there's bigger fish to fry. So I mean, in a sense like that, yeah, but you know, that hasn't happened, you know, as I've gotten older, that happened less. But other than that, crazy thoughts.
Well, that's a crazy thought there. I want to take this person out.
Yeah, you know, somebody do you wrong, you know, I mean, I'm talking about somebody do really wrong. You like, you know, you just want to just take that person out. And you may think, okay, I'm gonna get it done. But you know, Lord, listen, no, that ain't the way to go about it. That's not the way to go about it. You know, you got too much life to live, you got too much things to do. You know, and have to move on. You know, because that's where your life will end, right here.
And that's what it's saying. Now, instead of just understanding, okay, that's wrong, understanding why did I have the thought to take them out? Because there's some people, someone does them wrong and they don't have that thought. Their immediate thought is just move on. But why do I have the thought of taking them out? That's how they're saying you can cultivate a better relationship with yourself, understanding why you think the way you think. And now you can do a thorough job in getting rid of those thoughts when you take that why. When God gives you that why, now you give that why back to God and ask him to help you work on that why so that those thoughts can authentically be eliminated.
And I think it sounds more complicated than what it is. You know, I don't know why. You know, somebody aggravated me. That's who did something wrong. They did something that prompted me to feel this way. That's the reason why.
Right, but some people can't even take, and a lot of times, as simplistic as it sounds, God will come back and say it's even deeper than that. Because again, that's a surface answer. Because how many people that's a normal reaction. You did something I didn't like, I respond. I respond like this. Everyone responds, but it's the why do. So you and I can both say, oh, so and so ran over my foot. We both slapped that person. But yet the reason why you slapped them and the reason why I slapped them isn't the same reason. The result was the same. The slap was the same. Mm-hmm. But why you slapped him could be very much different from why I slapped him.
Okay. All right. I see your point. All right. Okay.
You know, so that's what they're saying. Understanding that why, and now letting God teach you how to analyze that so that you understand why that needs to go. And then before you know it, those thoughts are gone because you dealt with the why.
All right. Okay. Basically, you dealt with the underlying issue.
Right. The foundation of the issue.
Yeah. All right. I get that.
Right. Thank you. Brother Al, understanding the why behind your thoughts and actions without judgment is how you can cultivate a better relationship with you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I working with these kids, man. You know, why I want to punch this kid in the face and not this one? Yeah, why I want to slap this kid and not this one? You know, and it could be something a little deeper, like, you know, I don't like this kid as much as I like the other one because this kid gets on my nerve. So yeah, you know, you want to understand, why am I getting these feelings? You know, and, why am I getting these feelings? And like you said, when you understand why, you can deal with it better. Oh, okay, you know what? I don't like this kid as much. So, you know, I'm going to kind of stay away from this kid so I don't get myself in trouble. So understanding the why definitely helps you, you know, because then now you're finding a deeper way of why I'm feeling this way, or why I have this feeling towards this person, you know, or why I have feeling towards this movie or whatever. You know, just finding the why. That helps you out. Helps you get a better understanding. So I stay away from it so I don't snuff them.
Yes, thank you. Lady Tamika says, I had a coworker who was sometimey. She would come in and say good morning one day and then walk by me with nothing the next day. I was more than annoyed, analyzed why it bothered me so much. It's because my sibling used to do the same thing. Once I analyzed it, it allowed me to deal with her better. Yes, thank you. A lot of times we don't realize we have these underlying issues. We just thinking it's only on the surface. And the surface makes sense. It's logic to us. So a lot of times we don't go digging. Pastor Jeff, understanding the why behind your thoughts and actions without judgment.
I am always trying to do that. You know, I pray to God all the time. I'd be like, restore me a clean heart and a right spirit, because I never know really why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. Sometimes why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I always kind of go back to God, help me to understand. And then people, you know, I just think everybody crazy. So I'm like, Lord, help me to understand why they doing what they doing, you know. And I found out, you know, even in the warfare, the spiritual and the physical warfare that we have, you know, that when you do understand, you know, you can operate a lot better. There's the African proverb that says, first seek to understand before being understood. You know, you can formulate your stuff better when you understand. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you. Pastor KL, develop a better relationship with you. Learn to like you more about understanding the why behind your thoughts and actions without judgment.
Well, the natural calls are common sense. The spiritual calls are discernment. You know, when you're into God, you know, when you have God in you, you know, you will know right from wrong, and you can understand the why. So let's look at the lady who tries to kill the woman in the bathroom. That she wasn't looking at the why. She didn't have an understanding on the why. She just went off. God allows you to know right from wrong. You automatically can understand if you have God in you, you can automatically understand and discern the why. What you do with that type of knowledge of the why, it's on you. But the better you act or interact and understand the why, the better it is for your spiritual growth.
Nice. I like that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have time for one more. And again, like the self-care, I think this is extremely important because this speaks about humility with everyone, but especially with the men. Make sure you are using action. Learn to develop a better relationship with you by being willing to learn. Discover new things daily. This is saying through podcasts or books, so podcast. But being willing to learn. Being willing to understand that you just don't know. And being willing to open yourself up to learning will help you to like and love you so much more, Brother Al.
First and foremost, I didn't like that comment, especially you men.
Yeah, I gotta say that, man.
I'll just say something.
You see? I didn't say you men. I said especially men.
So that means I'm a man, ain't I?
Okay, but see, you men mainly means like I'm talking to you four. Okay.
So you're talking about all of us, all men. When you say men,
if you address it, that means it's you.
All right. Don't worry, I'm gonna see you. We'll talk later. I'll see you first. Don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of that. All right, came to me. He made me forget the question.
See, because you ain't willing to learn. You willing to respond.
I'm willing to learn. Yes, I think you should be able to open yourself up to learn. That's how you get better, by learning. Again, I use it because I'm both my job is working with kids, and you're working with the kids. I have to learn the lingo, the lingo that they're talking, because again, you calling me something, I'm thinking it's a comment, and the kids laugh. What that mean? I ain't got no problem asking kid, yo, come here, man. Such and such said this. What that mean? He would be disrespectful. Word, what that mean though? Tell me. So you have to be opened up to learn. And again, just like learning the word. That's why we in the word. We in the word to learn and to get closer with God. And that way you know better, you do better. So yeah, that definitely we have to open up to learn.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a lot more specific. You develop a better relationship with you. You learn to like and love you more when you're willing to learn about you. Brother Ainsley.
Say it one more time.
You develop a better relationship with yourself. Good morning, Majesty. Thank you for joining. I hope you're listening, because you're a man.
There we go.
You develop a better relationship with yourself. You learn to like and love you more and better when you are willing to learn about you.
Yeah, it's two things, right? Yeah, it's good to learn. Don't get me wrong, it's always good to learn. But as I get older now, like, first of all, number one, it's easy to learn stuff. Because we got all the information right on our phone. We just Google something, you want to know how to do this. Everything is on YouTube. You can find anything and everything what to do on YouTube. Right? It's right at our fingertips. But to me, getting older, if I need to learn how to do something, to me, I've learned I'll pay somebody else to do what I need to get done. Why I got to learn something, I'll have somebody else do what I got to do. That's less time with me, energy. It's better for me to have an expert do whatever else. Why I got to learn how to do, learn to designate, get stuff off of my plate. I've learned that, why I got to spend a lot of time on learning a specific topic, and just ask somebody who knows better, or ask somebody to do something who's more of an expert or experienced in a particular area. So to me, learning is not always I gotta sit around here all day long trying to figure something out. It's learning how to get the help from somebody who knows how to do it.
No, I feel like Pastor Steph. No. That's not what I said. I said you learn to like and see, and Brother Al, that's why he was sitting there laughing. You learn to like and love you better when you are willing to learn about you. Pastor Jeff.
Yes.
When you're willing to learn about you, you learn to like and love you better.
I agree. When I understand me and why I do the things I do and all of that, I like me better because, I'm a product of what I've come through, and I'm learning that, I respond to this because of this, and I'm, I agree. I agree with that. I like me better. The more I learn about me,
Thank you, Pastor Jeff. Thank you. Pastor Kale, being willing to learn about you, you learn to love and like you better.
All weekend we've been talking to each other nicely. Been having wonderful text messages. We ended up saying, I love you too, baby. And now you just come out here disrespectful. I'm just trying to understand how does this work. But I'm in agreement. Sometimes you can get caught up thinking you are more than who you are and that you know more than what you know, because you become in a bubble. I mentioned it last week. When you become the neighborhood star, you think you're the best until you realize there are other folks that's better than you. And sometimes to get to that next level, you have to realize you don't know as much as you think you know. You know what I mean? Al always says in our meeting that I'm the walking Bible. And then I hear these preachers that spit stuff out and it makes me go and study more. Because I'm not the walking Bible. I have a Bible. I walk with the Bible, but I'm not the walking Bible. So the more you realize that you're not as great as you think that you are, it doesn't take from you. People think because you denounce yourself or you're a little lower than the angels, then there's a problem. But no, you have to learn. But the only way you're going to learn is you have to be able to admit you don't know.
Thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being on with us this morning, taking us into a thought-provoking week, and praying that, Pastor Steph is teaching me to be quick on my feet, you know what I mean? But thanking you so much for being on with us and praying that you can continue as much as you contributed. You're able to also take everything that was said and meditate on it throughout the week. Thank you so much for being on with us. Have a great day, gentlemen.
Have a good day.
Have a good day, everybody. Yeah. Peace out.
Thank you. Talk about thought-provoking. Okay. So, do you like you? #relationship goals. And we look at all of these relationship goals that we see on social media, that we see within the industry. And I don't know about everyone else, but I'm very, very disappointed because we see a whole lot of, especially when you talk about these celebrities, these influencers, and it's like, what are you really influencing? And 1 minute, everyone's lovey-dovey, taking photos, and especially now that we're in the social media era, everything is being posted, and we're in the snow together. We walk to the corner store together. We go to the chicken spot together. We go to the awards show together. We meet the president together. All of this together, until you're not together. And now, not only are you not together, but now I got a restraining order on you. I want full custody of the kids. I want the dog. You can't keep the dog. and you were once upon a time relationship goals, but no one focuses nearly as much on the relationship you're supposed to have with God, which is first and foremost, this vertical relationship, and the relationship that you're supposed to have with yourself. And again, well, I already said it, so still I'll say transparent moment, but I've already touched on it. Something that really had to be stressed to me, even over this past weekend, and really being like, wow, this is really a thing. God, like, liking yourself, because again, we say things all the time, we hear things all the time, we read things all the time, but everything doesn't marinate all the time. You know, it doesn't really set in. And it really set in like, this is really a thing. Like, I'm really supposed to like me. I'm really supposed to love me. And when I think about me, I really don't be working for me sometimes. And there's a lot of regret, and there's a lot of unforgiveness of myself. There's a lot of, if I could put myself out for garbage in a garbage bag, sometimes I would, because I've learned what it means to be by myself relationship-wise, which I thought I could never do. At the same time, my issues went a lot deeper than that. They went a lot deeper to where I started to become numb. And this is even like recent stuff. Like, I started to become numb. God is blessing me, and it's like, oh, that's great. Okay, now what? Like, nothing was settling in, nothing was sinking in. And it got to a point where I really had to go to God, like, okay, God, what's up? Like, what's going on with me? Because I know it's not you. I know it's not you. I know it's me, but I don't know where within me there's something. And it was something that I read, I believe. And then I saw a post. And you know, people post stuff all the time. So whether the person really felt this way about themselves or not, it was thought provoking for me. But I read the post, and the female said, like, I love me. And real quick, I was like, ooh, but God, I don't love me. So how am I trying to, and I will never forget Elder Natisha saying to me, one of the things that has come from anyone from this Due Time crew. Elder Natisha, unfortunately, she's not able to be on with us as often because God has her doing so much. But whenever she's able to be on, she is on. And one time, her and I was speaking, you know, privately, and I was telling her, like, I want so much discipline. I need so much discipline. So now I want it, even though I know it hurts, but I want it. And she said, there's no discipline without healing. And that will never leave me. That will never leave me. There is no discipline without healing. That's why you find that you can't get set in discipline, because there's so much healing that still needs to take place. But I have to position myself to be healed. And immediately I'm looking at how I can be healed from what this person did to me, how I can be healed from what I did to that person. But I'm not thinking about the healing that needs to take place within Shontyce. What I felt like I did to me, the injustice I feel like I did to me. I'm not where I am in my life because of me. I'm not where, and this is why I really don't have patience for people. And I really don't, like, I have patience within to certain. I'm not trying to hear the woe is me for 9 minutes. After the 5th minute, it's like, okay, shut up. Now, let God teach you how to deal with you. Let God teach you how to own up to the things that you've done, because this is what he's doing with me. As much as it hurts, I know what it is for your bones to literally feel like they're breaking and they're aching. Like, literally, like someone just put some Timbs on and is kicking me in my collarbone. Like, I know what it feels like. When God is setting me straight about me, it hurts. But it is so beneficial. It is so painful. But the way you come out of it, you come out with a brand new pair of eyes. You come out with a brand new pair of ears. You come out with a brand new understanding. You come out with a better heart, because God is showing you that, yeah, so-and-so could have done that to you. You could have done that to such and such. But are you looking at yourself the way I'm looking at you? And God doesn't tell us about ourselves so that he can be condescending. His word says that. Come to me. I will not be condescending to you, and I will not talk down to you. I'm going to set you straight. I'm going to put that mirror up. And that's why people don't like church. That's why people don't like God. That's why people don't like reading the word. That's why people don't like the proper interpretation of said word, because it puts a mirror up. His word says in Hebrew, My word is like a double-edged sword. It cuts deep going in and cuts deep coming out. It gets down to the bone and the marrow of who you truly are. That's why people don't like the real interpretation. Because if I admit that when God says this, that's exposing that I'm doing opposite of this. Now I'm exposing I'm going against God, but I don't want to be looked at as I'm going against God. Listen, we're all going against God in some way. We all are. How do I know? Because the word says we all fall short. We all sin. And his word also says if you say you don't sin, you're a liar. And that sets you all the way back. We all do. I don't care who you are. Parishioner, clergy. I don't care how many churches you are over as a bishop. I don't care about none of that. God don't care about none of that. You occasionally will commit a sin. Doesn't mean you're a sinner, but you're going to mess up. You're going to fall. But then you're supposed to get right back up. And we commit more sins when we stay down. So how do I develop a better relationship with myself? I'm honest with God, and God teaches me how to be honest with myself. I face myself as ugly as I look, as painful as it feels. I face myself. Now, when God says I need you to go out and speak my word, I can speak it a lot more confidently. I can speak it with a lot more compassion. I can speak it with a lot more empathy and sympathy, because I know what it is for God to just... And I'm looking at people right now and I'm like, yo, like God has sent me to you because he's about to give you the raw deal. And I know how it feels to get the raw deal, not just from my pastor, but directly from him. And you won't let me be here for you. Why? Because you think you know and you don't know, which is why you don't like you. And I don't want to be around anyone who doesn't like them. Why? Because the way you get treated from people who don't like you, I put up with it all my life for the sake of wanting to be in a relationship, for the sake of wanting attention, for the sake of wanting to feel wanted, for the sake of wanting to feel needed. I am done with that part of my life. Sorry for anyone who comes in my life at this point. You should have met me years ago. You should have met me last year. I'm done with it. I'm done. And that's how everyone needs to be. I am not willing to not love myself, and I'm not willing to subject myself to someone who doesn't love themselves, because now I become the punching bag. You become the punching bag. So we need to also love ourselves, not only for ourselves, but to show others how God is teaching us to love ourselves in him. That's why it was so important that we elaborated on that self-care from a godly aspect, because the world teaches us that self-care is all about the physical pampering, the cucumbers on the eyes, the oatmeal facials, putting fake edges on if you ain't got none, because I ain't got none. Right? That's self-care to us. That's self-care to us. And God is like, no, real self-care is being drenched in my son's blood. Real self-care is trusting in me. Real self-care is spending that quality time with me. All the things that the men elaborated on, and they did such a great job with that. That's real self-care. And if God allows, he allows you to do the pampering, all that, because it does make you feel good. But we've worshipped that so much and prioritized that so much that the Bible is getting dusty while we're pulling out the fresh cucumbers. The Bible is getting dusty while we're buying a new bathrobe. The Bible is getting dusty while we're investing in MAC products and Fenty products and all of these things to help us look pretty here. And can I tell you, we still end up looking ugly and ugly and uglier because we're not taking care of the inner self. So walking away today with the hashtag relationship goal, I want to learn to love and like myself in God, because outside of God, I'm not going to like you. And it's not just you, it's all of us. So we really need to make sure that we're staying on point with God. We're staying in full collaboration with God. You know, one of the things that keeps standing out to me, and Pastor Steph mentioned it last week, was we're supposed to be peculiar people, meaning we're supposed to look weird and strange to the world because we're not supposed to be following the world's standards and protocols. We're supposed to be following God. So we're supposed to look weird and crazy to the world, not weird and crazy to God. So while everyone is taking care of themselves one way and we're prioritizing taking care of ourselves in another way, that being peculiar is going to stimulate conversations. You ask God to teach you how to hold the conversations, you're going to properly assist him with bringing people to them, to God and Jesus. Okay, so we really have to make sure that we're staying on point with the real hashtag goals, relationship goals of being with God, in God, with ourselves and in ourselves, in God. Okay? You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us live every Monday through Friday, weekday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Closer World Christian Media Network YouTube channel, which is a YouTube network. There are so many ministries that God has stemming from this little old YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get notifications every time we go live. Make sure you follow Pastor Steph on Coach for Christian Life Facebook page, as well as Coach for Christian Life Instagram page. Also follow the Media Network page on Instagram at ACW Media Network. There's so much going on all the time, every single day of the week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for allowing me to be here with you this morning. Make sure you contact Pastor Steph and let her know that you love her, you miss her, you hope that she's getting the rest that she needs. And God spares tomorrow morning or Wednesday morning, God spares. She will be back on with you. Make sure you hit her up. I'm going to ask you if you contacted her. I know she misses you. Make sure you tune in with us again tomorrow morning, God spares, where it's Let's Talk About It Tuesday, Church Folk Day, where we will be on with the pastors, getting those thought-provoking conversations going. Until then, God spares, I love you. Make sure you contact Pastor Steph.